actual data. So if you look at instructions, step 3. So that's where we're going to start, assuming you finished steps 1 and 2. Step 3A. So we're going to insert cell names. In other words, they call it define name. And see all those blanks. So we're going to give a names those input area so that when user enter data, those data will be transferred to the receipt area. Okay. Uh, let's again 3A. So 3A, you need to highlight A3 through B11, right? Then you're going to create cell names. So you're going to go ahead and click formulas because that's where these define names are located. You're going to click create from selection because I selected first, then I'm going to create names. So that's why I'm click create from selection rather than just define names. So this will let you create names using the column on the left. So that's why left column is selected. So whatever you select, then fit it in those names using the left column. So I'm going to click OK. As soon as you click OK, then if you move your mouse to the name box, as you can see, all those names are created, indicating those column B. Okay, and 3B, change name, which is define name, to street address. So to access to those names, I'm going to go ahead and click name manager because that's where all those names are located. So I'm going to click address, click edit. Then I'm going to change it to just street address underscore address. And 3C, I'm going to close this. So 3C is just inserting another names for youth info area, this area. So we're going to define name this time. I'm going to just click define name, and the name will be youth info, so I don't have to enter again. So I'm going to click OK. Same thing in 3C, highlight D2. I just did it right. A13, B16, insert name with event. So I'm going to click define name. Event is already there, so you click OK. So all this area has defined names. So you don't have to refer as A2, A3, A4 because it's got its own names. All right, step 4. Well, step 4 is not really necessary, but as a documentation or as a note, so we're going to just print those defined names, the list of defined names we just created. So to do that, all you do is just click using formula in define names area. Then you're going to click paste names. So they will paste all those names right here. Click paste list. So that each defined name with where it is located and so forth. So that was step 4. So you have a better idea what you have because as a user or as a third person, you want to know what's going on. So it gives you a better idea what you have created for them. All right, step 5. So we're going to create a data validation. Okay, data validation will let you create some options so user can use drop down, radio button, those things rather than just typing in information. So that's what we're going to do. Step 5. So starting from B3. So I'm going to click B3. I'm going to go and click Data tab and looking for data validation. I'm sorry. Data validation should be right here. Yeah, I'm sorry. Because it's got so many things are right here. Yeah. There you go. And settings. So you're in settings, right? Must be date because we are working on B3. So must be date must be later than January 1st, 2017, greater than or equals to, right? January 1st, 2017. Okay. Then input message, so let you create an input message. Title will be registration date. And message that will display will be enter the date on the registration form. So enter the date, the registration form. Error, and where error is committed, so it'll display the error. So give you title as a stop. Now style as stop, and title will be invalid registration. Right? Message itself, the registration date must be present and greater than or equals to January 1st, 2017. Okay, so I'm going to just keep that, and because it's not a really essential, this is just option. So I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to move on to B4. Again, data validation, setting, this time any value, and title of the input message will be youth name, and input message itself. Please enter the full name. Please enter the full name of the youth participant. Error message, error type. There's no error for B4 if you look at the instructions. So I'm going to click OK. Again, another data validation. This time B5. Settings will be list so that user can use the drop down. Source, the source of that data of the list coming from A14, A16. It's right there. So I'm going to highlight back here. Then I'm going to click input message. The title of input message will be events. Message itself, click the arrow. Click the arrow to select the event, right? And error messages will be stop, title invalid, event. Error message will deliver is use the arrow and all that. Okay, and click OK. B6, data validation, settings, lists, source of the grade coming from D4, D8 right there. input message will be grade. Message itself, click the arrow, basically same message. Error, if there's error is committed, then you're going to show it as an invalid grade, right? And it give you a detail of the error, which is use the arrow to select the grade. Then B7, which is shirt size, a list. Source, obviously coming from here, which is E4 to E8. Input message will be shirts size. The message itself, click the arrow to select the shirt size. And error is committed for some reason, then it's going to stop, then give you error message, invalid shirt size. And message itself will give you use the arrow again to select the right size. B8 through B11, if you look at the instructions, B8 is just any value, title. I believe we can select together B8, B11, right? Any value, title of input message, guardian contact information. Message itself, please enter the guardian contact information. Error, there's no error for this time. So I'm going to click OK. Okay, so that was step 5, creating validation rules. Now, step 6, B3 for B3 to B11. Then now we're going to enter the actual data, okay? Date, make sure it is greater than, meaning later than January 1st, 2017. Use name, any use name, John, I can make it up. Event, now you're going to select the events from the list. Grade, G2, shirt size, medium, guardian information, Michael, address, you can enter any date, any address you want, make it random. Americas, and telephone. Okay, so that's step 6. Step 7, once you enter that, now we're gonna give a formula to following area, which is A40. Okay, so we're gonna give a defined name to A40. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and click formulas and define names and define name of a. Am I at the right place? Okay, right. Or rather than go to define names, I can just type it in Guardian, start to typing Guardian so that I can just select Guardian. So as soon as type it in Guardian, the name you entered in the Guardian cell will be transferred, which is Michael. Same thing. B40, I'm going to enter equals telephone. As soon as you're trying to type telephone, it'll give you telephone itself, so you don't have to type all the way. Same thing with C40 equals youth name, press enter, followed by equals event. Make sure it is singular, you enter, and equals grade. And last one is shirt size, press enter. Okay, so make sure all those data have transferred to row number 40 as you have done. Okay, step 8, B27. We're going to do the same thing to the receipt area. Okay, so B27, you're going to start typing in equals Guardian. Again, it'll appear, the name will be appear, so just double click and press enter or double click. B28 equals street address, followed by city, state zip, then telephone, then we're going to go to E25, which is registration date, equals registration date, followed by E27, we have youth name, equals youth name, then we have equals event, equals grade, equals shirt size. So as you can see, all those data have been transferred again. So that was step 8. Step 9, column E. So we want to make sure column E has enough space so it show all those data. That's step 9. Step 10, E20, E36. E36 has total that'll give us amount located in B14 through B16. Not through, but one of those amount, because depending on what you have chose, right? If, if the event is selected, hip hop, then it'll give you 50. And same thing if you are the other one, secret agent day selected, the total will be 75 and so forth. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. So I'm going to click E36. What we're going to do is we're going to use if statement so that we don't have to do it manually every time user enters. So all you have is if statement, so you don't have to change this if because this will automatically generate the total for E. 36. So here we go. If event A14 events equals A14, which is hip hop dance, then it'll return B14, which is 50, comma. Otherwise, you have two more items. So we have to open another if so that we can take care of event equals A15 in this case. Then you return B15. Otherwise, it will return B16, which is 80 bucks, right? Then I'm going to close once. I'm going to close another one so that this if statement is complete. So I can show you the formula view. Well, I think I need to save it. I'm going to save it. Here's the formula view. Kind of small. There you go. If statement. You can just type under step 10. That's the step 10. So you can just type it in. Copy or paste. Same thing. And step 11. Now unlock the input cell on receipt worksheets. So user can enter the data, okay? So we're gonna highlight B3, B11, because that's where user will enter the data. Then right click on it so that we can go to format cell, because that's where you can find the locked. If you go to protection, you can lock those cells so user cannot edit or enter. Or you can just at this time we're gonna just remove the lock so that you are allowing the user to change the data. Okay, so I'm gonna click OK. Then we're gonna have to lock later on once we finish the steps. That was step 11. Step 12, protect documentation and registration data worksheets. So I'm gonna go ahead and click documentation worksheets. I'm gonna protect the sheets by go to review, right? Review tab, protect, meaning again, you're gonna block the user's entrance here. So no password, just click OK. Same thing, registration data, which is output worksheets. So we're gonna just protect this one. Then you click OK. So the two sheets are protected. I think I'm gonna stop at this point because we're gonna create macros in just a minute. Okay, so we're gonna continue with part 2.